Hi everyone, welcome to today's practice. We're going to be moving through just a quick and flowy, energizing Vinyasa practice. So if you're short for time and you just want a little bit of an energy shifter, this can be quite a nice practice to return to. And we're going to start at the top of our mats in a ragdoll forward fold. As always, if you need any props, any blocks, books, or anything similar, feel free to fetch them. And taking the feet as wide as feels comfortable, maybe around hip width distance apart, maybe even wider. You can even heel toe the feet to the corners, the edges of the mat. And then releasing the hands down towards the floor, maybe meeting your blocks or your books. And starting to sway the hips from side to side, just bringing some gentle movement into the body. And you can lift your gaze underneath each tricep, finding some rotation into the top of the spine. Maybe pressing into the fingertips if they meet the floor, deepening the bend into each knee. And slowly starting to arrive into stillness, maybe heel-toeing the feet just underneath the hips. And releasing the arms, taking a bind of either elbow, find a ragdoll forward fold. And taking a moment to connect with your breath here, the eyes can flutter closed. And just gently visualize yourself pouring all the weight into each of your 10 toes. Pinky toe, big toe, and all the toes in between. Starting to send the breath into this space. The outer edges of the feet, the back of the heels. And start to activate a gentle lift into the arches of the feet. The sense of lifting, opening out, a subtle external rotation through the hips as you do so. Taking a breath here, inhale. Release the arms down towards the earth as you exhale. Take a halfway lift on your next inhale. This time the left hand is going to cross towards the right ankle to the floor or to a block. From here, maybe you walk the right hand towards the top corner of your mat, move the weight forward and bend into the left elbow to engage through a rotation in the spine. Now those hips are going to want to sway over towards the right. Can you keep pulling them back in space so that the spine is long and the pelvis is level? If you like, you can start to press into the feet and float the right hand up towards the sky on an inhale. Maybe the hand meets the sacrum or the left thigh. Take a bind and exhale to twist here. A full breath in. And out, we release it down towards the ground. Take a halfway lift, inhale, lengthen spine. And forward fold, exhale. The right hand this time travels towards the left ankle. Begin by walking the left hand past the top corner of your mat. Breathing in, pour the weight into the hand, and then as you exhale, bending into right elbow, gaze lifts underneath the tricep. Breathe for 1. And exhale, this time choosing your option, your variation, maybe reaching left hand towards the sky, the right hip pulls back in space this time. Maybe there's a bind towards the thigh. Take a breath in and a breath out to twist. Through center on an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Gorgeous, everyone. We all start to rise through standing, stacking vertebra on vertebra as you come to arrive. The head is the last thing to land. And bringing your arms above your head, catching a bind of the elbows here. Take an inhale, lift the heart towards the sky, a gentle back bend. And exhale here, engage the glutes. Reach through Urdhva Hastasana, take an inhale. And exhale, another forward fold. This time, take a halfway lift and travel the left toes back in space, drop to the left knee. Find your Anjaneyasana on an inhale. The right hand is going to catch the left wrist and we side stretch over towards the right and exhale. Breathe for 1. Can you open the chest? And exhale, keep driving the right foot down. Come through center on an inhale, heel toe the right foot out, and then bring the fingertips towards the top of your mat and find a lizard forward fold, exhale. So you can take this passive, allow the right knee to open and drop, or keep drawing it in towards the right shoulder. Breathe here, inhale, perhaps the left toes tuck and the left knee lifts. And exhale, let's stay for 1, melting into the hip space. And release. We're going to press into the hands on the right foot. Draw the left foot towards the top of the mat. It lands, and we find our malas and the toes face out yogi squat. Bringing the fingertips to touch, creating space between the palms. Keep energizing elbows into knees, knees into elbows. Lift through the heart, inhale, drive down through the heels, and exhale. On our next inhale, we press into the feet, we come to stand. Heel toe the feet in underneath the hips, reach the arms high. This time make Kali Mudra, the first finger points, reach and lift. And take your back bend from here. Exhale, gaze maybe follows the fingers. Through center on an inhale. Take a fold and exhale. Halfway lift. And send the right toes towards the back of your mat. Drop down to the right knee. Windmill the arms high, inhale. Left hand takes right wrist, and we side stretch over to the left, finding equal space into the right side body, into the intercostal muscles between the ribs. Maybe lifting your gaze for one. And exhale. Come through center on an inhale and heel toe the left foot out. We bring the arms inside the thigh, melt it down. Maybe the hands meet blocks here. So your options again, just allow that knee to open. Maybe actively draw it into the shoulder. Perhaps you tuck the right toes and float the knee. Bowing the crown of the head down, lizard pose. You can always invite movement into this shape. Rock it back and forward if you'd rather. Let's pause for one more steady breath. And exhale. Lift your drishti forward. Maybe shuffle that back foot in a little bit closer. Press into the left foot, the fingers, and join, connect at the top for your malas and yogi squat. This time we drop the right hand into center. We lift the left arm up towards the sky. Inhale, side stretch. And exhale back through center. Drop left, lift right. Take an inhale. And through center, we exhale. From here, heel toe the feet in. If you want to take a crow pose, Bakasana, start to move the weight into the hands, or pause in your malasana for an extra breath. We take it back through chaturangas, your up dogs, your cobras, or we meet straight to our downward facing dog. Exhale. Let's lift the right leg to the sky, three-leg dog. As you exhale, we're going to keep the right leg long, but start to lift the outer edge of the right foot up towards the sky. Keep pressing into the left hand here, and maybe start to turn your gaze underneath the right tricep. Keep flexing through the right foot, open through the right hip, take an in-breath. And as you exhale, wrap the right knee towards the left tricep and twist, exhale. Release the right leg through, lift the left arm towards the sky, take your fallen star, open through the front body. And as you exhale, we drop the left hand down towards the floor, and we lower the sit bone all the way down, cross the left foot over towards the right, and take a seated twist here. Exhale to open towards the back of our mat. Breathe for one. Exhale. On our next inhale, the hands come back towards the top of our mat. Press into the left foot, left hand drops, and finding our half moon. So this time, stacking right hip on left, floating that right leg high. Can you find a lift up and out of the torso? So we're light into the bottom hand. Keep pressing into the left big toe. Finding the stable foundation into the legs and a lightness, a buoyancy into the upper body. Breathing for one, and exhale. The right foot drops towards the top of the mat. Take a halfway lift in Uttanasana, and an exhale to fold. Take chair pose, Utkatasana, bend the knees, lift the arms, lift your gaze, and exhale to sit the heels back. Lift and lengthen on an inhale, we stand tall, Urdhva Hastasana, back bend, and bring it all the way down for a fold. Exhale. Halfway lift. Step it back and chaturanga your way. However that looks, drop to knees, drop to belly, or hover at the elbows. Down dog is where we will all meet. Exhale. Press into right foot, left leg goes high. Open the hip, but keep that leg long. And you can always come to fingertips of the left hand here. So flexing the left foot, keep pressing and activating the bottom foot down towards the ground. And you can shorten the stance a bit by walking the right foot closer in. Breathing in, breathing out. Lift and lengthen on an inhale. Exhale, the left knee wraps around, rotates towards the right tricep to pause, and releases through for a fallen star. Open, lift and lengthen. Exhale, one breath. And right hand towards the top of your mat. Slowly lower down towards the sit bones. The right leg wraps up and over, and then we take a seated twist, opening towards the back of our space. Inhaling here, and exhaling here. So the right foot's at the top of our mats. We find a half moon. The left leg floats, the right hand drops, and lift and open, exhale. Breathing to hold. Exhaling, maybe we float the bottom hand for one. And release to Uttanasana, forward fold, exhale. Take chair pose, Utkatasana, inhale. And as we exhale, bring the hands to prayer at heart center. Start to open the chest towards the right. Maybe you find connection elbow outside knee. Otherwise, you can keep it more open. The arms can stretch to a T. From here, connecting between the palms, take an inhale. And as we exhale, float the left toes back. Find your twisted high lunge and breathe to hold here. So finding that space into the hips and lightness into the back toes. Can you equally press into the hands to lift and rotate through the chest? The gaze can follow whilst keeping the neck long. Breathing here. And exhale, one more. And exhale, gorgeous everyone. Come through center, find your high lunge on an inhale. Exhale, drop down to the left knee. Okay, the right hand is going to find the left wrist again. Lift and lengthen on an inhale. And exhale to find that side stretch. So maybe from here you find your block. And you pop it underneath the right hand. You can use that as a little base to pour all the way into. And maybe that just helps us subtly soften into the hips a little bit deeper. Let's pause for one. And exhale. Next inhale, the hips are going to shift back. That left hand is going to cross outside the right calf. Again, a block can be there to meet us, to find our twisted Ardha Hanuman. From here, starting to lift right arm towards the sky. Exhale, maybe the gaze follows. Keep pressing into the bottom hand and keep finding that resistance between the outer calf and the left forearm. One more breath here, inhale. And exhale. Come through center, take a halfway lift, press into the hands into the blocks and draw the right knee back to connect with the left. Pad the hands towards the thighs to lift. And as you exhale, the fingers face down, we lean the weight back, find your camel pose. Wrap the elbows in, crown of the head moves up and back. And although this is a back bend, there's a lot of activation happening into the front body here to make this supportive into our spine. So at the same time as we move the weight back, we want to think about drawing the navel in and almost closing the space between the ribs and the hips. So we're using our entire torso, our entire core to be held in this space. Final breath. And exhale, come through center, sit the sit bones back towards the heels. Release the neck, release the hands. A moment to breathe and pause. And exhale, nice everyone. Okay, popping your blocks out the way. Let's travel forward. Take a high plank, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Urdhva Mukha, up dog. And downward facing dog. Exhale. Lift the heels, step, jump, float top of your mat. Halfway lift and fold.
Utkatasana chair pose, take an inhale. Hands come to prayer, heart center, exhale. Lift and start to twist towards the left. Take your bind, elbow, or open the hands. Knitting the thighs in together, press into the hands, start to lift your gaze. Find your twisted Utkatasana. And then from here, we start to bring the right foot back, step it to the back of the mat, find the toes. Twisted high lunge. Oops, allow the wobbles. And finding your variation here, you can stagger the feet a bit wider, a bit longer. Use your exhale to find that extra space. Pressing into the palms for one more degree of rotation through the spine. And exhale. Come through center, drop to the right knee. Lift the arms to the sky for your Anjaneyasana. Left hand takes right wrist and we stretch towards the left side of the space. So again, if you want to find your block here, maybe here is where we pause, bringing the earth a little bit closer to us today. Maybe the eyes flutter closed. Sometimes I feel like that gives us more clarity on where we could be in our posture. It just brings us into the body a little bit more. Let's pause for one. And exhale. Next, inhale. We travel the sit bones back. And that block is going to meet us outside the calf as the right arm drops outside. Press into the right hand, twisted Ardha Hanuman. Left arm high. Take an inhale. And exhale. Keep knitting the inner thighs together to find stability here. And almost as though shoulders are stacking on top of one another. One is supporting us from beneath, and one is lifting us from above. All the directions of this posture, it's all happening. Let's pause for one more breath. And exhale, release. Take a halfway lift with the chest through center. And exhale, draw that left knee back in space. Drop to shin, drop to knee. Start to pad the arms back towards the thighs. Now you can take that camel pose again with the fingers to the sacrum. Or if you feel ready to, you can start here. Start to lean the weight, find your extension. And then we creep the hands down the inside of the thighs, wrap the shoulder blades in, and maintain the height through the chest. If you feel like you have extra space, maybe you tuck the toes and the hands meet the heels. But see if you can do this without compromising the height through the chest. Now, I don't really like to throw my head back in this one. I like to find length through the back of my neck just to find a little bit of support so that I'm not dumping into my cervical spine. So notice what feels best in your body. It might feel nice to relax the head back and find that extra space through the front of the throat. One more breath in camel. Ustrasana, we start to release through center, through neutral. And sit it back, exhale. Take the knees wide, walk the hands forward. Find your child's pose. Exhale. Letting it all go. All the work is done. Just a quick one, but a strong one for today. Walk the hands back where they came from. And we're just going to shuffle onto our sit bones. Find your way down towards the floor. Anywhere you would like to pause if you'd rather close in your seated Shavasana today, seated meditation. Feel free to be there. And for now, just planting the soles of the feet towards the ground, the knees drop in towards each other, the hands can meet towards the navel. Just finding this neutral space to pause in. Anywhere that feels soft in the body, where there's very little effort, nothing is being held, we're not gripping onto anything. Just allowing all of the energetics of our practice to travel, pulsate, and fluctuate through the body. And on your next breath, start to transition to your Shavasana, wherever that is today. Take up all the space you need. The arms, the legs can spill off the corners of the mats. Expanding in all directions with the body, with the breath. And starting to find this place of stillness. And you can bring a gentle body scan into the body, sending your focus, your attention to the feet, the toes, the ankles and the heels. And bringing it up through the fronts of the shins, into the backs of the calves. Any sensations into the fronts and the backs of the knees that perhaps leads us into the quads and the hamstrings, the front of the thighs, the back of the thighs, and then into the groin, the hip space. Notice how you bring all of your attention to these places. Naturally, we just start to move from one into the next, noticing this connectedness between every part of the body, this seamless connection of all muscles, of all tissues, of fascia, organs, bones, and everything in between. Into the belly, our focus meets us. And into Manipura chakra, the space between the lower ribs. And as we arrive to the rib cage, noticing the subtle expansion as we inflate and deflate with every breath. Feeling the chest, the lungs, the heart space. And any sensations into the arms, the biceps, triceps, forearms, palms, fingertips. And the back of the neck, back of the head. Maybe subtly we soften and relax. The jaw softens, the cheeks soften. We unclench any gripping in the jaw, releasing the tongue. Any creases in the eyes, the eyelids soften. The brow, the forehead softens. Taking a nourishing inhale, filling up every corner of the body you just explored. And sigh it out, exhale. Beautiful, everyone. And if you're coming with me, taking a full body stretch, or you can pause here for as long as you have time for. Reaching the arms past their ears and drawing it all in through center, making a teeny tiny ball of energy. Maybe a few sways from side to side, massaging into the lower back. And however you would like to make your way through seated, arriving in your own time, finding a comfortable space to return to. And we are all going to meet with our hands to prayer at heart center and Nahata chakra. Taking a moment to send your energies out to someone or something who may need it today. And as always, keeping a little bit for yourself. Lifting prayer to your third eye space. Keep practicing and all is coming. Jai, it was a pleasure to guide you all. As always, thank you so much for joining me here, and I will see you next time.